My name's Nikki and I'm the ship's captain and owner. Okay, up you go, Dave and John.
My name's Morag. I'm from the Isle of Skye in Scotland, and I was deckhand, one of the deckhands on Bessie.
Bessie Ellen was built around 100 years ago. She's built of wood, she's got 7 sails, and now she has an engine.
Nikki. Nikki's quite a force of nature in a good way. She's very cool and an excellent skipper.
It's incredible how she's managed to keep that boat going on her own. I sure couldn't do it, and I don't know many people that could.
No, we had a good winter. We had the useful workshop so we could varnish all the spars and take all the blocks and rig off. Work-wise, 3 new planks and scrape the whole hull, cork the whole hull. Yeah, it was a lot of long, arduous jobs this year, but I had a really good crew. And so they cracked on quite well and quite quickly. She looks in really good nick now.
In the dry dock, I remember a lot of being kind of bent over backwards, like scraping away barnacles and mussels at the bottom of the hull and anti-foul, and yeah, it's a bit grim. And a few days being quite hungover trying to paint, which was interesting.
It was a bit of a stressful winter in the fact that once we got into Gloucester, it filled up with mud, it silted up, and we were stuck. I think we had 2 foot of water around the whole boat, but they finally did do the dredging and we came out of the dry dock, turned around, went out and ran aground, and then had to be pulled through the mud for about half a mile.
Oh shit.
My name's Isaac, I'm from Penryn, Cornwall, and I was first mate on board. Incredible boat, none like her left really. And she's great fun to sail. She's good fun.
I don't have big enough testicles for that. Put yourself up. Put your pants back on.
And then we set off on an early April morning. We left Foy midday and went outbound towards Scilly's and got there in sort of rainy, foggy weather and no wind, anchored off Watermill. about 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, 2 or 3 in the morning. And then the following day, we all got up nice and bright and set off, most people, for a walk around the island. The crew and I waited till high tide, and then we moved the ship inside to St Mary's Pool, where the gig championships were being held. But it was so foggy you couldn't see a thing. You could only hear the oars clacking in the rowlocks and thole pins. It was really amazing. And finally it brightened up to weather like this just as we were about to leave. And we headed off up the Irish Sea, pouring, under engine, no wind.
We saw dolphins, which was exciting.
He was like the Russian guy. What's his name again? Rasputin. No, that's wrong. Oh.
So you can see it's very much the whole Irish Sea. You do it in steps with the tide. Try and get there to catch the next one, and then you get on and you get on and you get on. So we're in here, zooming up, and that's really good. Happy days. Right, are we want to change? Those of you who need to go to bed, go to bed. Kept going, still no wind, and then got to the bottom of the North Channel, and finally a breeze arrived, so we sailed all the way up. One crew on each thing. we had the tide with us, so we didn't want to lose the tide, kept going, and we anchored off Isla, which was lovely. Quick trip ashore for some whiskey, and then we went north to Loch Keels, which was absolutely heavenly. All of us had a good walk, and Bracken was loving it. Wind had got up, and so we went for a really fast sail through the Sound of Jura, and then up through the Sound of Isla. Quite strong wind actually, gusting 44 knots, and we came out the other side, and I was going to anchor at Loch Tarbert on Jura but decided against that, so we kept going.
Are you filming?
And we ended up anchoring just over here. Had a bouncy night, and then the following day there was no wind and we went up to Loch Corrie. Spent a really quiet night there, and everybody had a really good walk, and the following day people were quite keen to go on a hike, so we set them off with Max to climb some mountains, and sure enough they climbed a big mountain. Today, with very little wind, we've been drifting about, and finally came here to one of my favourite spots. When the sun shines on these islands, it's just magical. Here we are, and off to Oban in a couple of hours to say goodbye to everybody. So, since the pandemic, the future of Bessie Ellen looks hopeful. We've recovered slightly, but moving onwards, it's only through the dedication of the crew we have on board, and the shipwrights that we have repairing the boat, and the crews that turn up every day to run it, sail it, clean it, maintain it. Without them, there would be no Bessie Ellen. And it's really important that for the next certainly 30 years that we inspire people to join us, have adventurous times on board, meet new friends, and keep the legacy of sailing ships going for another 100 years. So Godspeed the Bessie Ellen and all who sail in her.